Going on, guys? Owens Forum coming at you with another video. In today's video, we're doing the preview, week 12. Detroit Lions playing the Indianapolis Colts. Colt territory. Lions coming in at 9-1. Colts at 5-6 in the AFC South. Lions #1 in NFC North division there. This is the final AFC matchup for the Lions left. So let's see if we can make it 4-0. They've beaten the Texans, Titans, and the Jaguars. Colts are next on the list. So let's make that 4-0 against the AFC South. Colts coming into this game 5-6 though, like I said, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're currently behind the Texans. I think the Texans got 7 wins, 7-4. I believe they're 7-4, 7 or 8-4. I forget what they are, or 8-3, whatever they are. But the Colts are second place in the AFC South and chasing down the Texans. Let's do the injury report. We do the Lions first. They have the road team. Cornerback rookie Enos Akestraw with a hamstring, did not practice. He is out. This just in, cornerback. I just seen this just before I was about to do the video. Another rookie cornerback, Terrion Arnold, been labeled out. He was a full practice on Friday, but he's been downgraded to out with a groin injury. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Then cornerback Emmanuel Mosley with a pec. He's on that 21-day window. Full practice. He is questionable, so does he play? We'll see what happens with Terrion Arnold injury. We'll talk about the shuffle that's probably going to happen tomorrow during the day, 1 o'clock start. Then other cornerback, Carlton Davis, the third, thumb injury, full practice, no injury designation. Remember him too last week. Didn't play the full game. He's kind of in and out all game. Having a big lead probably really did help that, but he had that broken thumb issue, and we saw a lot of Vildor. We saw some Dorsey. We'll talk about those guys too. But he does not have no injury designation. He is playing. Then tight end Sam Laporta, shoulder, full practice, no injury designation. I've seen that a lot of Lions fans are like, save him. We don't need him. We need everybody, guys. This is the NFL. This isn't high school. This isn't college. I know we're playing some weaker teams right here, but we need everybody. So Sam Laporta playing is a good thing. Then tight end Shane Zylstra with a neck injury, full practice, no injury designation. So we'll see what happens there if he gets up, elevated to the 53. And obviously, guys with Alexander Zalonia and IR 6 to 8 weeks. Nose tackle Broderick Martin is on the active roster. Does he play? Is he a healthy scratch? But he is back, Broderick Martin. So that's some good news at nose tackle there. He'll be in the mix with DJ Reader. Levi Nuzarike, we'll see if he even dresses tomorrow. Now the Colts, left tackle Bernard Raymond, knee injury, did not practice. He is officially out. Pretty sure they got a rookie going there, but I'll talk about that in a bit. They do have one thing I'll talk about with this Colts offensive line. They have a pretty good old line, but they have a possibility of 3 rookies starting tomorrow. And then defensive end, Tyquan Lewis, elbow, full practice. He is questionable. Wide receiver Josh Downs, who's a good one. Calf injury, full practice, no injury designation. Right tackle Braden Smith, foot, and then some rest. Did not practice, no injury designation. He's going. Wide receiver Michael Pittman, a back injury, full practice, no injury designation. He's a good wide receiver too. Cornerback Kenny Moore, knee, full practice, no injury designation. Defensive tackle DeForest Buckner, rest, did not practice, no injury designation. Linebacker Zaire Franklin, was a good linebacker. Rest, did not practice, no injury designation. And defensive tackle Grover Stewart, rest, did not practice, no injury designation. So those guys are a go. Obviously with guys like center Ryan Kelly out on IR, and they got right guard Will Freeze out. He's been on IR for 6 games too, so that's why they got some rookies in there as well. Now the roster depth chart, we start with the Lions. There's a road team. Quarterback Jared Goff, running back Jay Gibbs, D. Montgomery, Craig Reynolds. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Kelly Freeman, Tim Patrick, and Allen Robertson. Tight end, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, as his number 2, had a touchdown last week. Left tackle, Taylor Decker. Left guard, Graham Glasgow. Center, Frank Ragnow. Right guard, Kevin Zeitler, who's playing really good ball lately. Right tackle, Penei Sewell, who's just a monster. And then defensive end, Josh Pascal, with Al-Quad and Mohammed kind of backing him up too. James Houston in the mix over there. Nose tackle, DJ Reader, Broderick Martin. Defensive tackle, Lee McNeil. You're going to see some Levi O, some Pat O'Connor, who's been getting some reps in there as well too. Defensive end, Zadarius Smith. And then James Houston kind of there too as well. Linebacker, it looks like it's going to be probably Malcolm Rodriguez starting for Alexander Zaloni. You're going to see some Ezekiel Turner in there. He's more of a special teamer, but you might see some Ben Neiman and Trevor Nowaski too. Then another linebacker, Jack Campbell, with Neiman and Nowaski kind of backing him up as well. Cornerbacks, Carlton Davis III, Khalil Dorsey, Vildor, strong safety, Kirby Joseph, free safety, Brian Branch. Cornerback rookie Terrion Arnold will be out, so probably going to see some Kindell Vildor. Now, let's talk about this really quick though, guys. There's a lot of possibilities with Arnold being out tomorrow. Now, my guess is, and it's just a guess, they don't really want to shuffle it too much, have him moving too many guys, but there could be a plethora of things that could happen here. Kindell Vildor or Dorsey, whoever, gets the nod and gets the start, which I think is going to happen. It's going to be Vildor or Dorsey, whoever they think's better. Okay, Vildor is mainly Arnold's backup, but just all preferred sides. So if they think that Dorsey's better on the left or right, this all depends on where they're going to be lined up. Now, another thing that could happen, and I don't know if it will, you could see Brian Branch going back to the nickel and then putting Brandon Joseph, who's been playing okay at a safety position for Branch. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. You might see some more Brandon Joseph in there, and you might see some Brian Branch more going up and playing the nickel. Now, I know they like him back a little bit better at safety, where he can see the whole field. It's a lot more open. He can see things. But it's a strong possibility that could happen as well, too. And Emmanuel Mosley. You could see Emmanuel Mosley getting some snaps, but this is the thing with Mosley. They're not going to rush him because guys are hurt. Mosley is a Band-Aid. Let's just say it as it is. He's not a healthy guy. He's healthy right now. He's coming off injury. He's questionable finally. He's been out for so long. They'll be testing that tomorrow, see if he can move his arm around. He's got the pec injury. So it just all depends on feel and how he looks during warm-ups. So you could see Mosley in there. I don't think he starts. He hasn't played all summer. He wasn't even involved. I don't think he was even ready in the spring. Did he even play in training camp? I don't even remember. I don't think he did. I think he was coming off that injury, that Achilles, and then re-hurt himself maybe in warm-ups or in spring training. I don't remember if he got hurt in training camp, preseason. I can't remember. It's been so long since this guy's played. I just know that he is very injury prone. So they're not going to sit there and panic and go, well, we need to push Emmanuel Mosley in there because he does have more starting experience per se than guys like Vildor and Dorsey. Now, is he the better cornerback than Vildor and Dorsey? I'd probably say yes. Yes, he is. But doesn't mean he's going to start. We'll see. I guess they'll see tomorrow. They'll see how he feels. But the good thing is we have a lot of options. That's the good thing. It's not like we're stuck and saying, oh my God, Terrion Arnold's not playing, we're in trouble. Now, Arnold has been rough for about the first 6-7 weeks of football. He's been rough. He's played really well the last 4 or 5. He has. He hasn't got as many pass interference calls on him. They're not throwing to his side as much because he's doing his job. Because he's doing his job better. I know there's guys out there will be like, well, he's only been thrown to 9 times in the past 4 games. When you hear stuff like that, that's good. That's a good thing. That means you're doing your job. Now, does Arnold still need to learn some things? Yeah. But they just came out. There was something that just came out just recently. I guess an NFL official, the past game against the Jaguar, walked up to Arnold, was like, been watching your tape. You're really sticky in coverage. You just got to turn your head around. Turn your head around. You won't get as many calls. Stop grabbing, stop clutching, stop doing what you're doing. But mainly, turn your head around. And that's the main thing that he doesn't do, that he's been doing a little bit better lately. So, losing Arnold is big because he is the second best corner on this team, no matter what anybody says. And losing him hurts a bit. It does. And then you got a banged up Carlton Davis that doesn't help at all either. I can't see him coming out of the game though. Like I said, last week was different because we were up by so many points. So expect to see Vildor or Dorsey a lot. And I don't think they're going to move. And they could possibly even move Amik Robertson back there as well, too. So don't be surprised if you see Amik playing on the outside a little bit as well. He's a smaller corner. He's feisty. He's a dog. So he's done it. He's done it in the past. He's done it with the Lions. But he's mainly nickel. But things could change. Then obviously kicker Jake Bates and Jack Fox punting. But now let's go to the Colts. Quarterback Anthony Richardson's getting a nod tomorrow. Tomorrow, Joe Flacco backing him up. Richardson hasn't been that great since his debut last year. The guy's still throwing the ball probably at a 52% clip completion percentage, which is not too good. He had a very good game last week versus the Jets, though. Probably his best game of the year, best game of his short career. A couple touchdowns. I think he ran for one or two. One of those might have been a 2-point conversion, but he got in the end zone twice, threw a couple balls in the end zone, a couple touchdowns, 280 yards, whatever he had. He had a really good game against a pretty good Jets defense too. But he was a guy that was also benched a couple weeks back after saying that he was too tired to play. So what kind of Anthony Richardson are we going to get? We'll talk about that in a bit too. Running back Jonathan Taylor, who's a really good one. They got Trey Sermon, there's a rookie too over there. Wide receiver Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, two good wide receivers. Alec Pierce is their kind of like their deep threat, who's had a couple big games this year. So he's a guy that keep an eye on. Ashton Doolin kind of round that off. Tight end Mo Alley Cox, a really big target at tight end. Left tackle rookie, it looks like it's going to be Matt Kronkhalv, probably Goncalves, or I'm probably butchering his name right now. Sorry about that. With Bernard Raymond being out. Left guard Quentin Nelson. Center rookie Tanner Bortolini. And then right guard rookie Dalton Tucker. So, like I said, a possibility of 3 rookies on that starting O-line for the Colts tomorrow. But they've been a decent O-line. Right tackle Braden Smith, too. And then defensive end Kwity Paye, and Michigan Wolverine. Rookie Leatu Latu kind of backing him up. Nose tackle Grover Stewart. Defensive tackle DeForest Buckner. Defensive end Deo Odeyingbo. Linebacker EJ Speed, who I like a lot. Linebacker Zaire Franklin. Cornerback Jalen Jones. A strong safety Nick Cross, who I think is another good safety. Julian Blackman at free safety. Cornerback Samuel Womack, the third. And nickelback Kenny Moore. Now let's go to the rankings, NFL team rankings. We'll do offense first. Obviously, we'll do the Lions. 394.7 yards total. That's third in the NFL. Rushing per game, 152.2. That's third in the NFL. Per rush, that's 4.7. Fifth in the NFL. Passing per game, 242.5. That puts him at sixth in the NFL. QBR, 113.8. That's number 2 in the NFL. Goff's having that good of a year. Sacks, they've only given up 19. That's fourth in the NFL. Third down percentages, that's turning thirds into first downs. At a 45% clip, that's 6%. That's 6 overall, sorry. Possession per game, 31 minutes and 14 seconds. That's 10th overall. And then points per game, 33.6 points per game. Number 1 in the NFL. Number 1, it's a top 5 unit pretty much across the board. That's what you're looking at as an offense for the Detroit Lions. Now the Colts, total yards per game, 320.7. That's 21st in the NFL. Per rush per game, they rush for 118.5. That's 16th in the NFL, even though Jonathan Taylor is a really good running back. Per rush, 4.5. That's 7th in the NFL. They're passing for 202.2 yards. That's 20th. QBR is at 79.4, 28th. Sacks, they've given up 24 sacks. That's tied for 8th in the NFL. Third down percentages, turning thirds into first at a 37% clip. That's 22nd. 26 minutes and 40 seconds is what they possess a game on average. 31st, not too good. Points per game, they've scored 21.5 points a game. That gives them 17th overall in the NFL. So it's not a great offense. They got some guys out there, but not a great offense. It's a couple good players, but they are a long ways away. Now, defense. Lions, yards per game, 327.5 yards against. That's 13th NFL. They're giving up 94.8 yards rushing per game. That's 5th in the NFL. Per rush, 4.3. That's tied for 7th. Passing per game, 232.7. That's 27th in the NFL. They're still giving up a lot of yards through the air. That just means that they're beating up on teams too, and lack of pass rush as well. But blowing teams out, being up on teams, you're going to see teams more throwing against them. Not making excuses, I'm just saying. QBR against 73.6, that's number one in the NFL. So they're, like I said, giving up a lot of yards through the air, but a lot of quarterbacks are not being successful against that team. So that's really good. Number one in the NFL. Obviously, it's the best. Sacks, we have 25 on the year. That's 24th in the NFL. Not good. Third down percentage, teams are getting first downs at a 30.4% clip against them on third downs. That's number one in the NFL. So they're getting off the field really well on third downs. Possession per game, 29 minutes and 14 seconds. That's 10th in the NFL. So getting those guys off the field and getting the rest is vital. Points per game, 17.7 against. That's 5th in the NFL. That's elite. In passing, no, I already said that. So that's it right there, guys, because I had to, I had to do some things here. And then now let's do the Colts. Yards per game, total, 374.5. That's 28th in the NFL. Or 274.5, sorry, that's 28th in the NFL. 143.1 points, 143.1 rush yards per game. That's 28th in the NFL. Per rush, 4.4. That's tied for 8th. Passing, 200. I think I got that wrong. Yeah, no, I got that right. Sorry, it's defense. 231.5 point passing yards against. That's 26th, and I'm all over the place. QBR is 97.3. That's 20th in the NFL. Sacks, 25, just like the Lions, 24th in the NFL. Third down percentages, turning thirds into first downs at a 43.1% clip. That's what teams are doing against them. That's 24th. Possession, 33 minutes, 19 seconds. That's 31st. So they're on the field a ton. Not good for that. And points per game, they're giving up 22.7 points. Not awful, but not great. That gives them at 19th in the NFL. Sorry, I was all over the place there, guys. I was kind of really sloppy writing here at first. Now let's talk about the game. We'll talk about the predictions. Now this sounds like your typical trap game. People were talking about it earlier about like the Tennessee game I kind of got, but Tennessee's not as good as this Colts team. Even though this Colts team isn't that good, they're very competitive. They're very competitive, but it's got the smell of a trap game. You got to be careful with these guys. But I think the Lions are just too good. I think the Lions are too good. Don't take the Colts lightly, though. This is a team that can get hot, a little bit and put some points on the board, play a little defense at times. They're fighting for their playoff lives. There's a lot of things going on. And then it's a weak AFC South. It's got really nothing to do with the Lions, but they're trying to catch the Houston Texans. Now, Colts beat the Steelers this year in week 4, 27-24. Steelers are a good football team. They struggle on offense, but they have a really good defense. They put 27 points on them. They have been in every possible game this year, even in their 5-6. You look at all their wins, losses. Their biggest deficit in a loss is only by 10 points. And that's to the Bills, 30-20. Every other game they lost has been single-digit scores. So it almost kind of reminds you of the Lions when they were on the up, when they were coming up 4 or 5 years ago, when Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes started taking over this team, losing close games. The Lions have kind of been like this in the past with Stafford. Even back in the day when we went 0-16, if you see a lot of those games, Lions were in those games, and we still went 0-16, still terrible. But a lot of those were single-digit scores. Now, I'm not comparing the Colts to that 0-16 team. I'm just saying they're competitive. They're a very competitive team. Do I think they're good? I don't think they're that good of a football team. Anthony Richardson, I think, is a project still at quarterback, even though he had a very nice game. They got a couple really good wide receivers in Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, running back Jonathan Taylor, decent O-line. They're young, very young O-line. What you got to do is you got to kind of force Richardson to be one-dimensional. He can run. He can run the football. He's a load. He's Cam Newton. He's 6'5", 240 pounds, whatever he's got, whatever he's weighing, he's a load. And he runs very well. His arm is erratic. He's very wild. Like I said, 52, 55% completion percentage. I think he was a project coming into the NFL. Colts took a chance on him. I think he even traded up to get him, I believe. So, like, is he one more game away from for bringing back Flacco? I wouldn't say that, but he did get benched for a reason. I think a lot of it had to do with his comments towards being tired, but he wasn't playing good football at the time either. He wasn't throwing the ball well. He's, like I said, he's erratic. He's wild. He does run well, though. He's a good runner. So, like I said, you make him one-dimensional. You try to slow down Jonathan Taylor, beat up that old line a little bit with your defensive line, and you make him one-dimensional, he's going to make a mistake eventually. He's going to throw a pick. He's going to do something. You're going to get to him. Hopefully, this pass rush can get to him a little bit too, shake him up a bit. That's what you got to do defensively versus him. That's what you got to do. Make him one-dimensional. You stop Anthony Richardson, I think you're going to be okay. And it's not like he's a force anyways. I'm not saying, oh, you got to stop him because he's so good. You just got to make him one-dimensional and start throwing erratic balls, because then he'll start giving the ball away. It'll be like Christmas time. He'll just handing out presents. Here's an interception for you, interception for you, interception for you. That's what you do. If you give him all this time and if you don't kind of spy him, I know Glenn doesn't like to spy guys. Quarterbacks especially, obviously, as that's you're mainly spying. He doesn't like to do that, but you got to kind of keep an eye on him to know where he is, because he will hurt you in the rush lanes. If he's running the ball, he's going to hurt you. And I think that's his best asset. Throwing the ball is just not his best asset yet, but he does have a super strong arm, but it's erratic at times, like I said. So do that defensively, make him one-dimensional. I think we're winning this ball game. I think we're winning anyways. And then defensively, they don't have a lot of guys that scare me on defense. I like their linebacking crew. I like Zaire Franklin. I like EJ Speed. But you can run on this team. You can run on these guys. You can pass on these guys. They give up touchdowns. They don't give up a ton of points, but they do give up touchdowns. They're on the field a long time. They're like 31st in the NFL on possession. You don't want your defense out there that long per game. So run the ball, throw the ball. That's basically what they're going to do. I think this offense is capable of scoring 35 to 40 a game. I think they're capable of doing that, even against good teams. Now, will they? I don't think so, but they're capable. Now, this game, I'm gonna make a prediction. I think they're gonna win 37 to 23. 37 to 23. You know what I mean? That's double-digit points. You know what I mean? That's what? That's 14 points. That's 2 touchdowns. I think they're capable of doing it. They could give up a couple scores. Like I said, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman are 2 good wide receivers. And if Richardson's on even a little, it could be one of those games. But defensively, they don't match up well against us. They don't, because we're going to be able to control what we do on offense. They're not an elite defense. They're below average. They're below average. If anything, they give up a lot on the ground. They give up a lot through the air. They don't get scored on a ton per average. But they do give up yards. It's kind of like, I think the Lions are much better, but they're similar in a way to the Lions, except we don't give up a lot of points at all. We give up basically nothing in the rush game too, but we give up a ton air yards. So there's some similarities there. We obviously have a better defense, I think, especially on the run and points against. But there's some similarities there. They'll have the crowd on their side, all that stuff. But I think we beat up on this team 37-23, Detroit Lions. No disrespect to the Colts, because I think they're a young up-and-coming team. Don't know what they'll do at quarterback if they stay with Richardson. But let's get through this game first and worry about what's next for the Lions, not them. So we got some injuries. They got some injuries. We got some guys back. They got guys back. It's a good game. The Lions could go up to 10-1, pretty much securing a playoff spot at that point. I know that's not just the goal, just getting into the playoffs, but 10 wins should get you into the playoffs. There is some good teams though in this NFC, so 10 might not, 10-11, who knows, right? But winning the division and winning the NFC is the first and second goal, and we know what the third goal is. Super Bowl. So we're not going to talk about that right now, but let's get through game by game, go up 10-1, and be done with that for now, and then move on to the next. Move on to Thanksgiving, Chicago. So let's talk about that later on. So thanks a lot, guys. That's the video, 37-23 Detroit Lions. Hope you guys like it. What do you guys think? We've beaten up on the Colts. Is this a trap game? Are you nervous? Are you not? I'm not nervous about it. Is it a possible trap game? Sure. But I'm not nervous about this football game. I think the Lions roll this team. I think they beat them by a couple scores. Well, that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in, watching the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget the notification bell up top. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video out. Let's go, guys. Detroit Lions. Grit. Detroit versus everybody. Let's go. Bam.